and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello, everybody. It's Thursday night yet again. We are here at the Cantina Happy Hour. We are talking Star Wars, and nothing but, well, I say nothing but Star Wars. We go on tangents once in a while, but
I was going to say, you lie.
But we keep it at, I'll say like 85, 90% Star Wars. So we chase the occasional rabbit. I am your host, David. So glad you're here. You're watching with us. With me, as always, is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am very, very tired, but I'm very, very excited because I loved this episode of The Mandalorian. It's watching it again. I'm like, oh, this was one of my favorites of the season. So, in fact,
last week.
I know, but like all of them are my favorite except for one, and that's the one we got next week. And I'm not looking forward to that one again. But whatever, it is what it is. Also with us tonight, as he always is Cam from Cam and Focus. How are you, sir?
Doing good, thank you. I'm right there with you. I am very, very tired.
It's been a day, and that's
certainly has been
early this morning.
Ugh.
So. We're going to talk Mandalorian, and we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. This episode was a shorter episode, I think 37 minutes counting credits. So it wasn't ridiculously long, but I think it did a lot. We were introduced to two new characters who have been recurring characters within the first three seasons of Fennec wasn't really in the third season of. Was she in the third season at all? Mando?
I don't think she was.
She had a big part in the Book of Boba Fett, though. So
yeah.
Mando season 2.5, we'll call it that. So, anyway, but yeah, she did. She had a great. We were introduced to Fennec Shand. We're introduced to I can't think of her name now. Amy Sedaris.
Pele Mott?
Yeah, the Jawa lover.
Yeah.
And we find that out later. Spoiler! Spoiler, it's coming.
Yeah, third season.
But, and this is just, she's funny, but not, like, over the top. I don't think.
She's not Jar Jar Binks funny.
Yeah. and they used her just enough too, to where it was like, okay, we'll put her in for just enough to where you don't hate her, but just because we know she's not as funny as she should have been. So.
Yeah, I was a little iffy with her at first, but the more I saw her, especially as the seasons went on, the more I warmed up to her.
And she's been a good, this is one of those cases of Mando treated her well, and she has become what's a good way to put this? All I can think of is from Spider-Man, the guy in the chair. She's kind of been she's back there and she helps him out when she can, kind of thing. So.
Well, and she's kind of been a surrogate for Grogu, maybe Yoda.
And don't forget, she made that one starship that he has, the one that's so much better than the Razor Crest.
It's not better than the Razor Crest. Don't fool yourself.
Yeah, he's going to have to do something about that eventually.
I'm still thinking he needs to get rid of that. I mean, it's nice to have the race car, but it's not practical for a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to start doing that again. He's definitely going to have to do something else.
Yeah.
Going to bring in a YT-1300 and challenge the Millennium Falcon.
Which I mean, honestly, at this point, when was the last bounty he actually had?
Maybe this one. Maybe the one we're about to talk about. I'd have to think. Like he did the whole thing with like the next week is the prison break episode. And then we move into the 2 episodes, the last 2 of the season for with the Empire, where they're acting off on the Empire. Second season, I think so. I mean, maybe in that first episode, I have to go back and rewatch it because I know he was looking for Jedi in that first episode, and that's when they had the Gamorrean guards that were the Fight Club, basically, that was going on.
Yeah.
Remember if he was looking for someone in that one, or when did he go? When did he find the Trandoshan? He was cutting people's head off with the darksaber.
That was the Book of Boba Fett.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well, fine. Book of Boba Fett then is there you go. I was wrong. Count me wrong. It happens once in a while.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call it his profession anymore. At this point, I'd call it a well-paying hobby.
I would call his profession at this point a high-paid babysitter.
Well, I mean, now that he's got himself all wrapped up in the saving of Mandalore and all that, now he has to be. Yeah,
he has a leader of people.
And so somehow or other, he's gonna have to find a way to one-up Paz Vizsla.
Of course. That didn't sound good. Hang on a minute. There's nobody at my house right now, so when you hear thumps and crashes from downstairs, you're wondering what the dogs are doing.
Being
dumb animals. Not my favorites, but whatever. They keep my wife happy, and that keeps me happy. So there you go.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have 2 Basset Hounds and a Golden Doodle.
Okay.
And one of the Basset Hounds is like, what did they call it? It's a Brazilian Basset Hound. So all the features are like really accentuated, and they're worth like the puppies are worth like thousands and thousands of dollars because of their breeding and everything. So we have a male, and my mother-in-law has several females. So little side hustle going on, no big deal. Anyway, all right. So this one starts out with a firefight. We've still got bounty hunters chasing Baby Yoda, and we're going to continue calling him Baby Yoda until we find out his name in the Book of Boba Fett. Or no, I'm sorry, season 2. We find out his name is Grogu, but we'll just keep calling him Baby Yoda because that's what everybody was calling him. Oh, it's Baby Yoda. The child. Baby Yoda. The child. The baby child Yoda.
Or Key and Peele. Is there a Baby Yoda in here? My name's Grogu. Son of a bitch.
Oh.
That was
beautiful. It was beautiful. Loved it. Oh, I see what you're doing, Aaron.
Take your ass down to O'Shag Hennessy's office right now. Who? O'Shag Hennessy. Principal O'Shaughnessy?
Beautiful. See, we tangents. We're off on all this stuff. We know everything. So anyway, it starts off with the firefight. The guy, and I saw this coming when I first saw this episode. I saw it coming a mile away. The guy tells him, he said, "I got you, Mando. I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold." And of course, Mando does some fancy flying and says, "That's my line," and then blows him out of the sky. I mean, if you didn't see that coming, then you obviously haven't watched enough movies or TV or anything ever.
Yeah,
Star
I mean,
Wars.
it's there. It's cheesy. I mean,
But it has to be.
It's-
That's the point.
sometimes it's just a bit too much for me.
Oh, I
Oh, Cam, you have to be the party pooper.
come on.
What?
It's fun to take a shot of tequila every once in a while.
Well, it's just
Not too
line-
much. Not too much,
Because
because
it's just lines like that remind me of my most hated line in Star Wars. Period, which is, "Wait a minute, I'm the crime boss, not him."
oh,
That's I hate it.
you're a magistrate. You are not a crime boss. Sorry, Boba. They ruined your character, but maybe they'll do season 2 and redeem yourself. I don't know. No more drugs. I'm not moving drugs through here. And it's like, what would a crime lord do? Seriously? Boy, howdy. So anyway, moving on. He lands on Tatooine. He leaves the kid on the ship. He tells her no droids, which was good because I mean, and I don't know if you caught this, but the pit droids are. It's not the same droids, I wouldn't think. It's the same type of droids that were predominant at the pod races in episode 1.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace. So that was just it's little things like that. It's a nod to the movies that have come before. So he says no droids. She gets to work. He goes out to find work because she asks, "How are you going to pay?" And he's like, "Well, I'll find something." And then he gets picked up in a bar by a guy that's hunting Fennec Shand. Did I say that funny?
He got picked up.
He got picked up in a bar. Yeah. Yeah. You go, Mando.
Hey, yo,
Woo!
Mando, what's your name? What's your sign?
Somebody lucky tonight.
And it was all about money, too. That's what was so weird about it. Anyway, he just, and basically this guy's like, I just want in the guild, and if I get Fennec Shand, then they'll let me in. And he tells him no initially because it's what did he say? She's an elite mercenary, I think, was the
assassin.
Elite assassin. Okay. So Mando knew what he was up against. And the guy was persistent and even made him an offer. I guess made him an offer he couldn't refuse. You can keep all the money. All I want is basically all he wanted was the prestige. He didn't want any of the money. He just wanted his namesake. So, and who do we know the actor that played this guy? Because he's kind of the guy was just kind of a putz initially. I mean, well, through the whole thing,
Well,
but he
I thought
didn't.
was annoying throughout the whole episode.
And he didn't come off to me as dangerous, like at all. He looked like one of those guys that would come up to you with a blaster and go, "Give me your money," and you'd be like,
Yeah, I think he was just some young punk trying to make a name for himself and getting into the bounty hunter guild was, I guess he thought maybe the easiest way to do that. So
It was the foreshadowing of Boba Fett's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
let's not talk about that.
Go Power Rangers on our mopeds.
Oh God, I'll never forget watching that chase scene for the first time. I was like, they're not even going fast.
This chase was filmed at an incredible 5 miles an hour.
I just couldn't believe they had mopeds or whatever they were, bikes that were that shiny and pristine
And
on
colorful.
the planet of Tatooine.
Yeah.
Where they constantly have sandstorms. It's like
That would
Yeah, 'cause
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, it's like, didn't they know? Didn't they hear what Anakin said? It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating, it gets everywhere.
Well, and that's kind of that's one of the big things. Like when George Lucas made Star Wars, made the original trilogy, he wanted things to look. And this is in one of the many documentaries that I've watched. He says, I wanted it to look lived in. I wanted it to look like nothing is new. I don't want anything new. I want it to look, okay, here's the Millennium Falcon, and it's a ship that Han and Chewie are constantly having to repair, and it's beat up and it's dinged up because it's been through stuff. And that was, I want it lived in. And
Unless
think that
was Imperial, because those ships were pristine.
But then, and I think he took that a step too far with the when Phantom Menace came out. Well, the entire prequel trilogy, because everything was like all shiny and new. You had the Naboo yachts that were all flashy silver, and the Naboo fighters, which are all
making a point that at that point in time it was run by the Republic, so.
It was shiny and new.
Yeah, everything was shiny and new, and then the Empire takes over, and people suffer, things go to hell.
Well, to be fair though, if you think back to the original trilogy, we didn't really see any planets or cities that would have even been clean in the first place.
Tatooine. We were on Tatooine.
Well, yeah, Tatooine, but again, it's a desert planet. It's supposed to look kind of dirty and gritty. And what planets did we see in Empire and Return of the Jedi? We saw Bespin, but that was a pretty clean city. But then we also saw Hoth and Endor and Dagobah. So no cities there to be clean or dirty.
Yeah. So anyway, but that was one of the biggest problems I think I had with the mopeds. Getting back to that, they didn't look lived in.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the if they had something different as far as speeders go, I think I wouldn't have made as much fun of them. They were still a bunch of
it just looks so out of place. That was my issue. And I don't know if it was Filoni or Favreau that said, it was a nod to George, back in the day when, they had back when they made real cars.
And Debbie would know.
I would have found it to be more believable if they were wearing rocket-powered skates.
No. Riding around on hoverboards. Wait a minute. Rocket-powered skates. That was Batman and Robin, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Rocket-powered ice skates? Yeah,
they
the bat
click their feet together and the skates deploy.
Oh boy!
Oh Lord, have mercy.
That was a doozy of a movie.
Speaking of travesties, there's another one.
I'm Batman.
Oh Lordy. Okay, so I just completely lost as to where we were.
I was gonna say, how do we go from talking about Star Wars to freaking Batman and Robin?
Oh, Fennec Shand. They go after Fennec Shand. They use some tactics. They get a hold of her, and then she tries to play the what do they call? How do they? She's trying to get him to double cross Mando and turn her loose. I mean, it's really a play for her own life as far as I can get out of this and still give you the prestige that you want, and they'll leave me alone kind of thing. And he ends up shooting her, the rapscallion. But apparently she had it coming. I don't know what his. I mean, what happens honestly if his? She tells him about the Mando, and this is they're wanted on Navarro. And your prestige will be good if you bring him in, blah, 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 blah. But what if that's not the man? I mean, I'm thinking the way he should have been thinking of what if that wasn't the right Mando? I can still bring her in and still get the prestige that I want. Or I can bring both of them in, and then it's like, whoo!
That should have been his, attempted play was to, bring them both in.
Yeah. Why kill
But-
her? I mean, what good does that do?
Like
I
I
was
said-
kind of thinking about that too, and I really couldn't come up with any good reason.
I mean, the only thing I could think
Punk.
was, yeah.
That's
Only
the
thing I could think was maybe he like he shoots her. He pulls out his phone and takes a selfie with it and says, "Here, I shot her. She's dead." But
I don't know.
I didn't get the whole point of killing her, other than it adds to the story coming up later on. So, speaking of Book of Boba Fett, oh, we did see Boba Fett in this episode. We didn't, I mean, see him, but we find out later that that's who that was.
I remember the internet blowing up over that. It's like, it's the Spurs. It's the Spurs.
Yeah, and I want to look back at this when they were crossing the desert, and I think it was right before they got to the Tuscans, but the music that was playing as they were crossing the desert, I'm sitting here building Legos. I'm trying to build my Legos and watch the episode, and this was right before our show started. And I'm not really watching the episode. I'm just kind of listening to it. The music that was playing when they crossed the desert was remarkably like the main theme from the Book of Boba Fett. Go back and watch the music, and then watch the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, oh,
Okay.
there's some similarities. Okay, there was a clue within the music. So
I never noticed that.
We like seeing cool things like that. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, he gets back to his ship. He's threatening. He's got Grogu. I'm going to take you in. He makes what's her name go handcuff him, and he sets off one of the light bombs.
Flash bombs.
Flash a flashbang grenade.
Mm-hmm.
Throws him off, and then of course he kills him. So all well and good.
Him right.
It was I was looking at it, I was like, you done screwed up, dude.
Justice served.
All's well that ends well.
Yes. Exactly. And of course he gives what's her name all the money, all of his money, and she's like, "Oh, hey, new friend." Something else too. When they were crossing the desert, which I really enjoyed this part of it, was, and this is really kind of fleshed out in season 2 as well, was him talking to the sand people, the Tuscans,
Mm-hmm.
which I've always been kind of curious about the Tuscans, because it's like really they're kind of portrayed in the movies as just kind of mindless wanderers. Dun 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 dun.
Chewie's tail making its appearance.
So, but this really kind of, this one, and then of course in season 2 when they fight the crate dragon, really gets us into. I mean, it really expands on them as a people. It says, okay, maybe they're not like the mindless. What did Klieglar say?
Vicious, mindless monsters.
Yeah. So, which again, I have become more curious about the Sand People now, just because.
Yeah, I mean, we've always thought of them as the bad guys, because I mean we really don't know. I mean, we get to know them better in Book of Boba Fett, but for the most part, they're very mysterious characters that pop up here and there.
And now we're getting a little more backstory on them, which is, I mean, it's the same kind of thing that Book of Boba Fett is doing. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I read somewhere, he talks to him, and I think that they're using ASL, American Sign Language. Is what he's using to, he does all the hand gestures and everything. And if it's not that, then it's a variation, or it's and I can't remember how this was put, but I think that the main Tusken was actually a deaf guy, and he kind of came up with the and I may be way off kilter. He came up with the hand motions and everything, which was really cool. Just a cool little tidbit. So everybody's in Star Wars. It's great. It's great. I'm gonna put everybody in there. It's gonna be awesome.
Now I'm just waiting on Nicolas Cage to make an appearance. It's gonna happen.
And Keanu Reeves. We need Keanu Reeves. I want Keanu in there.
Yeah,
Everybody wants.
Everyone wants him to play
fantastic
Revan,
years.
and at this point, I honestly feel like he's too old. Because he's pushing 60.
No, he's not. He's like 25.
In Keanu years, sure.
Is he 60?
he's getting
58
close.
or 59.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
So.
I think he's 58, but he could be 58, 59.
And yes, at that point, he still looks young, so that helps. That goes in. Well, let me take that back. I haven't seen the last Keanu Reeves movie. Well, I saw Bill and Ted Face the Music, and
No, he's 58.
58, yep.
pushing
I
60.
am a year older. Holy crap. I have a chance. I have a chance. Usually they're either way too old for me, or they're quite a bit older like Harrison, or they're way too young, then I don't have
Kind of like Hemsworth or
Tom Hiddleston. Yeah. No chance in hell there. So
I don't know, Debbie.
there you go. There you go.
I kind of took you for more of a Taylor Lautner admirer.
I like Taylor.
Nick Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch, absolutely.
Ryan Reynolds. Yep.
Everybody loves Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I watched Adam Project the other day.
I've actually been meaning to watch. I want to rewatch New Guy just because that was an amazing movie. Free Guy. New Guy was DJ Qualls. That was different movie.
Free Guy
watched
has
that
the
at
best
least.
Chris Evans cameo.
Yeah.
Free Guy has the best cameo. Period. I mean, it's the only cameo ever that's the not. They're all good cameos, but this one's like the greatest one of them all. So. And if you haven't seen Free Guy, it's on Disney Plus. Go watch it and watch for the Chris Evans cameo because it's the greatest thing ever. And you'll be like, yes! What? So language. Did he just say language? It just slipped out. Do we have anything else in this episode, Debbie? Did we catch everything? No, we didn't catch everything, or no, we have nothing else.
No, I think we covered everything.
I want to take.
It was 38 minutes, so
Yeah, it was a short episode.
Yeah.
It was a shorter episode.
it's kind of hard to drag that one out.
We covered a Mando episode the length of a Family Guy episode.
Yeah. Something else I want to put out. They released and this is for me. They've released some of the images for the Lego sets that they're building for Ahsoka. Now we're getting a new Ghost and a new Phantom, which a lot of people have been screaming for, and that's fine. We're getting a new T6 Jedi shuttle, which mine's like right there. That's my original one anyway. But we're getting a new one. But one of the other things that we're getting is another Starfighter versus an E-Wing, a New Republic E-Wing. Now, this has significance because the E-Wing was first introduced back in Dark Empire in the comic books, circa before Cam was born, kind of thing. So this is another one of those you guys say we don't use any of the stuff from Legends, and here we're giving you stuff. I mean, it's not going to be exactly what you want. It's not going to be the exact way the Legends were. But you know what? We're taking stuff from it. We're using stuff, and
in my opinion, they don't use enough. I mean,
there's a lot that they could use.
The big one was Thrawn, because when they announced that several years ago, when they announced that they were coming out with the Thrawn trilogy, I lost it. I did. I was just so excited because.
Well, and honestly, it wouldn't. I'm not saying Ahsoka. It's possible, but if they introduced a Mara Jade, I think Mara Jade would be even a bigger addition than Thrawn would be. I think that would go over much greater with the fan base than Thrawn did. Because everybody wants Thrawn, but everybody's also been screaming for Mara. And especially since the end of, if you watch the end of The Force Awakens, when she first approaches Luke, Luke's standing at the top of the mountain and he's looking off into the distance. But if you look at the rocks around his feet, it looks like one of them is propped up in a memorial, like a tombstone. And there was a lot of rumors going around after Force Awakens that, oh, that's Mara. Mara's dead, and he's sitting there mourning her, and that's why he's on this island, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah,
No.
maybe, but
No.
I don't see that.
Well, that's what lives in my head, so. From the first time they showed that trailer, I was like, oh, is that Mara's tombstone?
So, whatever. I think the introduction of that character from Legends into canon would be a bigger deal than Thrawn is. I'm sorry.
I feel like it would just cause like a really big domino effect, though, because then people are going to be like, well, how are they going to bring in Jason and Jaina Solo, and how are they going to bring in Ben Skywalker, and
they've already
cool your jets.
Well, and honestly, I think too they may have, because what's Kanan and Hera's son's name?
Jason.
And I think it's even spelled the same as the Jason from
with the C.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that going, okay, they kind of did introduce Jason, and his father was a Force sensitive, and that's fine. That's all well and good. And could he be Force sensitive as well? Sure, why not? Could he become a dark side user? Very possible. I mean, just because his name's not Jason Solo, okay, fine. But Jason, nonetheless. And Anakin Solo. And
yeah.
I've said this before. You read all of those, if you read in through like the Yuzon Vong War, it's like Luke and Leia and Han survived. Chewie died. Chewie died in the Yuzon Vong War protecting Anakin.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. This is all Legends, so it doesn't matter. I can spoil it all I want to. It's never really happened.
Don't spoil these 30-year-old books for me.
Yeah, if you haven't read it in the past 30 years, then whatever, go away. Anyway,
there's some good stuff in there, and then there's some
really bad ones,
wonky stuff, but for the most part.
But anyway, so Chewie dies protecting Anakin, which I found really funny because of the original cast. Chewie's like the only one that survives. I mean, Luke and Leia and Han all die, and it's kind of the flip-flop of what happened in Legends. So those are little nuggets for me. If you don't like them, well, I don't care. They're for me. I don't like the chicken nuggets. It's my chicky nuggies.
Chicken nuggies.
I die a little inside every time someone says that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right now, I'm operating at a good 38% because I've heard it so much throughout my life.
Oh. All I know is I had to make Sam a shirt once that said Mama's Hugs and Chicken Nugs. Something like that. I'm sorry. It wasn't my idea. My wife just came up and said, make this. And I'm like, All right.
Yeah, sure. Blame your wife.
I
Blame
do.
your wife. That's what always happens.
I was not allowed to ruin my child. I was not allowed to ruin this child. Luke, I ruined.
If it's a great idea, it's mine. But if it's a bad idea, it's this one over here.
And if you go to my personal YouTube page, I've got a video up there, and Luke is maybe 18 months old, somewhere between 18 and 24 months old, and he's got and I'm picking up action figures, Star Wars action figures, and he can name them. And I don't mean name them. I mean, like, who is this? That's Padme. Who is this? That's Mace Windu. Who is this? That's a clone trooper. Who is this? That's a stormtrooper. See, I mean, he knows the difference, and he can tell, who is this? That's Obi-Wan. Who is this? That's Leia. And I cycled through all of them, and it was great. And apparently I ruined Luke. But I was informed that when Samuel was born, you are not allowed to ruin this one. So I've kept my distance, and and now he's into video games, and he plays Lego Star Wars with me. So now I get to ruin him.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Just wait until
just destiny.
How old is Luke now?
Luke is 14 now.
Has he played Knights of the Old Republic yet?
No, Luke is in that stage of I'm a teenager, so I'm outgrowing all of my dad's stuff because it's not cool anymore. And I want to be cool, but I know once he hits like his mid-20s, he's going to revert back to, oh, dad's stuff was really cool, and now I want to be cool with dad again. But I mean, he still keeps up with his Marvel and with his MCU, and but like Star Wars has kind of fallen to the wayside. He doesn't collect Legos anymore. Video games, he's got his phone, so it's not like I'm going to play video games. So I kind of lost him, but not really. I'll get him back. They're still good in him.
Lost Ben Solo, you did. Lose Rey, we must not.
Okay. Anything else for this episode or Star Wars news related?
Don't think so.
Everything I seen was MCU, but a lot of it was rumors, and people are hyping stuff up, and I'm just like, quit hyping stuff you don't know about, and then you're going to be sadly disappointed when.
Well, and a lot of stuff has been pushed back now because of the Screen Actors Guilds and the Writers Guilds strike. And
yeah, I seen Dune was pushed back. They're talking about Aquaman being pushed back, and I'm like, I don't know why.
Why are they even going forward with that one? After what the Flash did? Seriously? You're going to try and do an Aquaman too? Oh, it's Jason Momoa, though. He'll be box office draw. Whatever.
I just want to see Jason Momoa. So
I just want to see him without a shirt on. That's all.
That's right.
But see, if I was to sit here and say, oh, we need a new Star Wars, but I need Daisy Ridley to get topless, you'd be like, oh, you sick pig. That's disgusting. Just saying. Double standard. That's all. Honey, if you're watching, I know you're not watching, but if you watch later on, I don't need to see Daisy Ridley run around naked in Star Wars. I'll be fine. I'm fine. I'm good.
Well, I'm sure some people wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Some people would.
Like one or two people. That's it.
One or two people.
And I'm both of them.
Yeah, we got at least two of them right here. Cam. Cam and Cam.
Cam and Cam.
Although if that did happen, that would probably be one of the highest grossing Star Wars movies of all time.
Probably.
Woo! Let's go. Naked Star Wars. Here we go. Anyway. Tangents. Shameless plugs. Do we have anything, Debbie? What you got?
Well, let's see. We have Geek Gauntlet coming up Saturday at 10 Eastern. And then, of course, Monday we'll have MCU Monday with
It's episode 5 of
5. Yes.
Secret Invasion.
So that is it from me.
Cam, you got anything? Shameless plug?
Yeah, my quick review of The Flash is up on the new YouTube channel.
I saw that pop the other day.
I watched it.
I haven't watched it yet, but
I
that's one I don't have to watch the movie. I'm fine. I'll be okay.
I plan on watching it again because I don't know. Watching it at the movies and then being able to watch it at home and take your time with it and pause, rewind, or whatever. And
yeah,
I'll wait till it hits HBO Max and I can watch it at home and not spend any money on it. I'm a horrible person.
It's not bad, but it's not. It doesn't live up to the hype.
Gotcha.
I'll just say that.
And Cam, is this part of your review as well? It doesn't live up to the hype. Or were you one of the ones that liked it?
He liked it.
No. We in our chats there was one or two of them arguing about it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. It certainly had its issues, and I kind of go into that a little bit in my video. But I liked it a lot. I think it was better than the sum of its parts, but it's not a great film.
Kind of like the Batman.
Okay,
Robert
words.
The Robert Pattinson Batman.
That's good.
I thought that was a great film.
I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was like the best thing ever. I mean, I got done with it and I was like, well, that's a movie. There it is.
It's good. I mean, now for me,
we were celebrating mediocrity. Sorry, I had a word and I needed to use it.
It still doesn't top Dark Knight.
No,
because I love Dark Knight, but
I don't think the Dark Knight will ever be topped in my book.
But it's good. I enjoyed it. I've watched it a couple times. So,
if only there was a George Clooney cameo.
No, Lord.
That would be the best Batman movie ever.
Bring back the nipples.
I want to see bat ass.
Wait a minute. Did Val Kilmer not make a cameo in it? No.
No, he couldn't.
I know. It's sad. I saw a documentary with, I think it was him and his son. And he's talking. Yeah, that was just really depressing. Because he's. Yeah, it's good documentary, but I mean, just. I hate to say the way he's fallen because he really didn't fall. He had some bad stuff happen to him. That's really. And it wasn't bad like, oh, he got robbed and he lost all his money gambling. It was health issues. He had health issues.
Cancer.
Yeah. And you watch him. My cat's doing crazy things.
Anyway.
No. A funny story about that. I was working on those last Saturday and I had 2 AT-ATs built and a Millennium Falcon built, and I put them back up on the I had rehung the shelves. I put them back up on the shelves, and as soon as I put that second one up there, everything just kind of started sliding and the whole shelf fell down, and I was like, no. In my haste to put the shelf back up, I put the stupid thing on upside down. Of course it didn't help, and so of course everything fell again. And I was like, "Dadgummit, I got to start everything I did all last weekend is just." Bleh.
You just need to start super gluing them when you're putting them.
No. Ooh.
That is blasphemy to a Lego fan.
Ooh. No, I'm doing good. I've got 3 of the AT-ATs built, and the Millennium Falcon's about 3/4 of the way there. So it's a work in progress. I'm getting it done. Okay. Also, don't forget, check out and I'm gonna flash the thing up here. We have got a giveaway going on. There's about less than 3 hours left to get signed up for this giveaway. All right, we've got some cool Star Wars stuff. What did I do with it? It's right here somewhere. Oh, maybe. I got it. So we've got some cool Star Wars stuff, and being that we're talking about the Mandalorian, it fits. We've got this very cool laser etched picture. We have this very, very cool laser etched wall hang. This is the way. We've got this cute as a button baby Yoda Christmas ornament. We've got this lovely wall. I have spoken. Any one of these is ideal for a geeky room. I hate saying man cave because there are girl geeks too. So your geek cave, your nerdvana, if you will. And this one's my personal one. I brought this one on. It's a Snap Wexley Lego minifigure. And of course a keychain featuring Darth Vader and Boba Fett. So
Nice.
all of this could be yours, and I will send it to you as soon as when our contest is over and we have drawn a name. I'm even going to announce the person's name live on the show. The link is on the bottom of your screen. If you don't want to type all of that stuff in, go to our Facebook page. It's all over our Facebook page. It's all over our Instagram page. I think it's all over Twitter too.
Yeah.
So go check us out on any of the social medias. It's there. There's a link to the site. You can go get signed up. You can get multiple entries. You know, if you go visit the Facebook page, you go visit the Instagram page, there's multiple ways to get multiple entries. So you can sign up for multiple things and it would be great. But we'd love to see you in that and win that stuff. That was, gosh, I can't even think of the name of the
Paisley.
Poppy.
Poppy.
Hang on.
Paisley Poppy.
Hang on. I gotta find it. They were kind enough to give us all of this stuff, so we need to properly identify them. It is the Paisley Poppy. The Paisley Poppy. You can go find them on Facebook under the Paisley Poppy or www.thepaisleypoppy.com. So all of that stuff was from them except for the Lego minifigure. That's my. You're welcome. You can have one of my Legos. That's fine. I will gladly part with it. Not that I don't like Snap Wexley, but I just had extra. So anyway, go sign up. All the social medias. We are done for tonight. We are gone. Come back next week. What's the episode next week? What's the title? Do you know, Debbie?
The Prisoner, I think.
Yeah, the prisoner.
Yeah. Again, not my favorite episode, but it's got Bill Burr in it, so it's tolerable. Just because I like Bill Burr, so. And of course he'll pop back up in season 2 anyways. So and that's a good
episode.
Yes, that's a great episode that he's in season 2. So anyway, y'all all have a great week. Go sign up for the drawing. Go check out the social medias. We will see you all next week. May the force be with you all.